Good evening and welcome to the special economic report. I am your host Adam Daniel. Today is the January 9th of 2026 and our top story tonight focuses on the rising cost of living and construction in Malaysia. We are focusing on a critical report from the Shanghai metal market regarding the steady to strong trend of rebar prices in our local market. Still, rebar is the backbone of our houses, our highways, as well as our offices. However, prices have recently climbed from RM 2200 to RM 2380 per ton. This isn't just a number on a page. It impacts house prices as well as government infrastructure projects across the country. Tonight, my team and I will break this down using microeconomic principles. We will look at scarcity and choice with Danish and Kalis, analyze supply and demand shifts with Arif Naim, and discuss policy solutions with Tariq. Danish, you've been talking to the people on the ground. What is the latest update from the construction sites?
Thanks, Adam. As you can see behind me, construction work is still active, but there is a major problem happening here. We are seeing a physical shortage of rebar in the local market. There are two main reasons for this tight supply structure. The first one is several of our major steel mills have recently shut down for equipment maintenance. When this is happened, the productive capacity is temporarily limited and it creates scarcity. The second issue is export limitation. Earlier this year, domestic price in Malaysia were quite low. To survive, many mills choose to ship their rebar overseas instead of keeping it here. This creates a massive opportunity cost for Malaysia. By choosing to export, we have lost our local safety net of inventory. To explain how this look on the evaluation chart, I will toss it over to our technical analyst, which is Kadis.
So we're now moving on to the microeconomic analysis. So I'll begin with our first key element, which is scarcity and specialty costs in the Malaysian labor market. The steel industry operates under scarcity as production resources and capacity are limited, as noted in the report. The tenants work in operation adjustments that Beijing use separated the primary supply structure, placing a cap on rebar cooling. Because of these constraints, producers must make choices. They cannot fully supply both domestic and export markets at the same time. During periods of low domestic prices, many firms prioritize exports, which offer higher returns. This choice creates an opportunity cost. By allocating more rebar to exports, domestic supply falls, leading to lower inventories and lower local prices. This trade-off is shown on the production possibility curve right here. Point represents represents the balance supply between domestic and export markets, while point B reflects a shift toward exports. The movement from point A to point B acquired during the shows that increasing exports reduces domestic supply. This was especially evident in mid-2035 when producers focused on exports to offset weak domestic prices. In summary, limited capacity supply and strong prices in the domestic labor market. I'll now pass the presentation to Jimmy.
Now, let's talk about why the price of steel is rising. To understand this, we look at supply and demand. Think of it like this. Supply is how much steel is made as raw, while it's because local factories are paying for electricity. In Malaysia, the GNB electricity rate just rise to 14.2%. For a steel factory, this is a big deal. It adds about 30 to 50 ringgit to the cost of making just one ton of steel. Based on Determinant of supply. If the cost of production increase, the quantity supply will decrease. As we can see at the graph, the S1 to S2, the quantity will decrease. It because it's more expensive to make. The factories produce less. On our graph, the supply line moves to the left. This creates a new balance of equilibrium at a much higher price because the price is rising. And the equilibrium quantity will slightly decrease. You might wonder, why would people still buy this if it's so expensive? This is because of elasticity. Steel is a must-have item. If you are building a tall building, you cannot use wood or plastic instead of steel. You need it. In economics, we call this as inelastic demands. It's because builders need the steel no matter what. They have to pay the higher price. This is why market stays strong even though prices are high. The factories pass the extra cost of electricity directly to the builders. Now, let's go to climate to see what we can do about this.
As an industry analyst looking at the current situation shows a clear path forward. To handle the challenge of rising electricity costs, we need strategic action from all sides. First, for businesses and manufacturers, our top recommendation is to invest in modern energy efficient furnaces. This kind of upgrade can significantly reduce how much power they use, while it requires some upfront investment, it will protect them from future price hikes and lower their operating costs over time. Second, there's a role for government. When supplies are tight and demand is high, what we call tight supply conditions, prices can rise greatly. The government should actively monitor these situations to ensure no companies are taking unfair advantage or engaging into uncompetitive behavior that hurts consumers. Finally, home buyers and consumers need to be aware many of these rising costs for parent builders are inelastic, meaning they cannot easily be avoided. As a result, these increased expenses are efficiently passed down the chain and get added into the final price of properties. So people planning to buy a home should factor these into their future budget. Taking these steps from companies upgrading equipment to government oversight to inform consumers will help to manage the current pressures. Back to you, Alan. That's all.
Thank you to my team for those deep insights. As we have seen today, the Malaysian labor market is a textbook example of microeconomics in action. We've learned that the tight supply isn't just an accident. It's a result of factories making choices on their PBC or the production possibilities curve to favor exports. We've also seen how a 14.2% electricity hike acts as a massive supply shock, pushing the market equilibrium to a higher price point that builders simply cannot avoid investing demand. Before we sign off, we want to thank our lecturer, Madhur Anay Jamila, for our guidance on this report. We hope this report can be clear while still may be firm and cold. The economic forces behind it are constantly moving. For the rebar report, I'm Evan Daniel, joined by Danish Kanis, Aris Lain, and Tade. Thank you for watching and have a productive evening.